everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome to the charge room. Welcome to Thursday. Thursday is all about the men. Where's my king? Hashtag the men's locker room. So tonight, buddy, come on in. Come on in. We are here tonight to talk with the kings tonight. I sought out to, reach out to ask some men, like how can we build relationships with the younger generation and Generation X, right? Or even the older generations, the generations before me, the baby boomers, right? Silent generation, right? But what about the children? Relationships with your children. A lot of times, we go after each other, we look at each other, we like each other, we get in the bed with each other, and we create love. Love between us, a man and a woman, and then we create offspring, our children. Not all times do the relationships stay together, but then there are times when the relationships fall apart. And who is the sacrifice? The children. Can we have relationships with our children after the breakups from separating from the woman or separating from the man? So that's the topic for tonight. I want everybody to reach out, and I know if you're a mom, if you are not with the father of your children and relationships have been strained between you and the father, and then your children are left in the middle, are you using them as pawns? Are you holding them back from having relationships with their fathers because you're angry at them because y'all didn't work out? He walked out on you, you walked out on him. He didn't do what he was supposed to do according to you. And then you said to your child that they can't see their father, or said to the father, they cannot see you, or you can't see them because you didn't give me my child support. Which type of challenge did you have? And your child was left without the relationship of their father. Please tag someone. Please share this video. Please share this show. Please share this platform. I know more than one person can understand what's going on right now. So I'm building this thing tonight because it's about building relationships with ourselves and building relationships with others. But tonight I want to focus on building relationships with our children and their fathers. So tonight we are here. I have some kings on the line. And I would like some feedback, between men and women, because I know women are on listening and looking. And I also know men are on as well. So I want some feedback tonight. So let's go back and forth and let's talk about it in your relationships, right? So, like, what's going on? What are the challenges that we are facing that we cannot help build the relationships between children and their fathers? So, I'm going to bring the kings up on tonight, and I'm going to have them share their situations with you, right? So we can put it on the table. Let's put it out there. What is really the challenge that we cannot bridge the gap between fathers and their children? And then the ones that can bridge the gap, please share, because there are so many out here that are challenged. I mean, really burnt to a crisp, where some people just grow up without knowing who their father is, knowing or thinking that their father has abandoned them to never return. But it could be the mother. The mother could have told a really big lie. So we're gonna bring the kings up tonight. Let's see. This is King Father Wise. Then we have King Herman. Then we have King K Wise. Good evening, gentlemen.
Yes.
Peace, peace, peace,
How are
everybody.
y'all
Peace.
doing? How are y'all doing? Tonight, I felt this was a vital, very vital topic, about the relationship. How can we bridge the gap? How can we talk about the challenges that we face when separating from the mom, and the downhill or uphill battle that we go through when it's time to have relationships with our children? So, how do you gentlemen feel about this topic? So let's start with King Father Wise.
Oh, how do I feel about this topic? Is the relationship between the children strained because I left or because their mother left? Well, I shit.
First,
I
let
can
me
say
ask you:
this,
How
right?
do you have children, sir? Do you have children?
Oh, of course I do. I got
Okay,
two.
how many children you have?
I have two of my own and one that I helped raised. So I consider him
Okay,
mine as well. So that's three. 28,
how,
26, and
how
21.
how's the relationship between you and them since you
Uh,
separated from the?
mm, uh, as far as me and my daughter go, as far as me and my daughter goes, that like that's my little mini me, right? That's my anybody who knows me knows like she that's we have a great relationship. Period. Um, our relationship transcends time, so to speak, right? Like we're great. I talk to her every day. She went to college and then she moved to Atlanta and then she never came back and I had custody of her for years. She was here with me for years. And we're great. My middle son, my son is he's we're good. We speak at least 2 times, 3 times a week. He comes over, we hang out and stuff. I cut his hair, I chop it up with him, and we good. Now the oldest one is her son biologically. And I never really like after me and his mom broke up, he doesn't really call. He doesn't call, he doesn't, but if he needs something he'll call, but he hasn't done that in a long time. Um so I just figured, I just tell you the truth, I just left it alone. Like I'm not the type I'm not gonna call anything, even though I'm the parent and I'm supposed to be reaching out. I feel like reaching out is a two-way street. When you can call and ask me for something, then you can just call to see how I'm doing as well. And I had all those. I had surgery done on my foot. Not one phone call. And I haven't heard from him in months, months. So I
Do you
just,
feel at any point that she may have coerced them not to have a relationship
I,
with
I
you?
see now. I would like to say yeah, but I don't know if that's the truth or not. But I know
Okay,
it
that's a
plays a
fair answer.
yeah. But I know it plays a part because his lawyer, I guess even though I've been there since he was 2 years old, I guess his loyalty is still to his mother, which I understand, but it is what it is. Like he knows the circumstances of us not being together. And I always say right is right and wrong is wrong. I don't care who it is. period. So
Okay.
it's I don't know if his mother said anything about. I don't know if she did that, tried to poison him against me. I don't know. It could either go either way for me. It would be a 50-50.
Okay, great. King Herman,
Hey, Queen. What's up, Father Wise
how
K?
are you?
It's,
Peace, peace.
How do you
Uh,
feel about the topic tonight?
this topic.
yeah, right.
Just feel like I just got out of it, and but still dealing with it. Um, you know, so I have a total of three kids altogether. Um, two that weren't mine, but I actually helped raise them while their father wasn't in the picture in the life. But then when the incident happened between me and my ex, um, that relationship got severed. Um, to the point where my daughter, who's now two, she went through periods of about 3 months before I was able to finally see her again, and then everything was going good, and then somebody got mad at me, and we back to another 3 months. I didn't see my daughter, but when I was finally able to see her, even though I got to exchange at the police precinct, as soon as she saw me, she ran to me and hugged me. So
Okay.
I was happy with that. Now her other son, which was like my little man, and I was so deep going back and forth with him that he was like, don't even call me little Tommy no more, call me little Herman. He used to be right underneath me at the job, and everybody knows like, yo, your son's acting up, come get him. And to go from that close relationship to now I don't even get to talk to him. Like today before I even got on, I bumped into one of his friends, and they were asking me how is he, and I gotta share the news like, yo, me and him don't really see each other like that, and we keep it moving, but it does hurt. I'll be honest with you, it does, because especially when you gave your all and you didn't judge. But the other thing I'll say is that when it comes to this situation, sometimes there's feelings that get clouded if you and that person were sexual. And then as you start to pull away, it's like the withdrawal syndrome kicks in. And if she can't get what she want, even though you're trying to step up and say, yo, it's really about the child, it's not about you no more. Sometimes there's a problem, there's a disconnect. And she's like, yo, well, if you're not gonna mess with me, then you can't see the child. And she like, so they kind of probably put it like a package deal instead of saying, okay, let's sit down. Here's the guidelines. Here's the parameters. Let's stay within this for the child's sake.
Definitely understood. King K Wise, how do you feel about the topic tonight?
Well, first of all, again, peace and blessings to everybody, Father Wise, King Herm, Queen
We can
Eliasa.
barely hear you.
Oh, here we go again. How about now?
mm-hmm,
That's
Mm,
better.
mm-hmm.
All right. Uh, my take on everything of it, it's it's a duality. It's a duality. Number one, uh, you have to take accountability and responsibility for your own self first of all, as a father. If you are absent within your child's life, the reasons behind it is what you have to find out for yourself and look at yourself if it is it worth it or not. For me personally, uh, bad decisions led to bad choices. You know what I'm saying? Um, when I divorced, it was a hard thing for me. And at that time, being young, we were both young, and I say we made our
You're
mistakes.
going a bit in and out. I'm sorry.
Still going
You're
out.
going a bit in and out because it's I'm struggling to hear you.
All right, wait a minute, hold on. Let me see something.
Now he know he need to stop using that raggedy old headset. He use it every week. Get the
I
same
know, right?
every week.
Today's show was brought by Ilyasa She Said. Get your own.
You got a big old
I
microphone
heard you,
sitting
bro.
right there, won't even use it. Damn shame.
Can you hear me now?
We
No,
can hear you now.
barely.
Well,
How about now?
Yeah.
yes.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Whatever. All right. Let me go back. As I was saying that in my situation, all right, my divorce. Like I said, bad decisions led to bad choices that was being made, and at the time we were young, and so I put it like this: I'll take 85% of that situation to look at it as my fault, as far as the ramifications that come about between the divorce and then the children. Uh, with me, it was hard because of being in the military. So I could not be with them like I wanted to because of my obligation within the military. I had to go here and there as a combat infantry, airborne paratrooper, everything, all that stuff. So I was here today, going tomorrow. So that made it very difficult to be involved 100% with my children's rearing and growing up. I could not make a lot of the things that was very important to them, that they felt that their father should be there, and I wanted to be there, and I couldn't at some times. And then the times that I could be and made a bad choice not to be, based upon the fact of how the divorce breakup led to uncomfortable situations. But again, that bears the fruit of how you try to come to yourself with it within family. So a lot of the decisions, if I look back and say, was it good? No, I didn't make a lot of good decisions when it came to uh with my kids. Do I love my children? Absolutely. Do they love me? Yes. Do we have the best of relationships? I would say no, but we have an understanding within each other. Now, like I said, my kids are dynamite. I take nothing from them, and to this day, like I said, I even commend their mother for doing a job well done of growing and being with the children in our divorce. And we're good now. We're good. So that's the better part of it, that we can still become friends within the parent structure to our children. We are still friends amongst each other, but it's not like we don't get along, like we don't call each other, nothing like that. That was when we were younger and really didn't give our lives that chance. Now being older, the relationship, like I said, the relationship with my children, they'll call, I'll call. It's not all an everyday thing, and I understand that, because we all have. My kids are grown, so everybody's going their separate ways, living their separate lives. But yet, the function, they know that if there's anything going crazy or whatever, they can pick up the bat phone and they can call their dad, and it's like, I'm 911. I'm gonna be there for them, regardless of what's going on. Um, is there a way to bridge that gap? You can't bridge that gap from what it was. You have to work on what's now. You know what I'm saying? You got to work on what's now. And the only way you can work on what's now is communication, point blank, period. We all know that communication. And being the father, you have to understand that everybody's responsible for what goes on within their lives and their times. And the children, if you're not present in their life and there's something going on with them, and they're sharing it with somebody else because the mother may be seeing somebody else at that time, and you can't get to her. Sometimes, yeah, it hurts. But I'm also grateful that there was a figure, a positive figure, that could stand in and give good advice, that might have been there for them when they needed their actual father, but the father couldn't be there, and this person was seeing their mother, and they got a good relationship together. That's fine. but nobody's ever going to take the place of who I am, irregardless of the situation. You know, my blood is my blood and it runs. But the choices we make is how the choices we're going to receive from our own replications of what we do and how we handle our situations. You know, I choose to always communicate. My door is always open, communication for my kids 24/7. You know, and again, I respect the lives that they live in. And like I said, I mean, I'm gonna be like I said. Let's be real about things. Was I 100% a great father or parent or example? No, because there was a lot of change. There was a lot of hellfire that I went through my life that, uh, and sad to say that even some points that I neglected my kids because of what I was going through. I didn't know how to handle it here. I didn't know how to handle it here. So I used other means and other negative entities to allow me to escape from my that true reality of waking up and saying, you know what, do this or that. And then, you know, when tragic hit me, make me think about things that happened within my life structure. I see now that, you know what, the most important thing in your life is your seeds. You know, is family, period. You know, so no matter what, no matter how bad things may be, no matter how bad things may get, my kids always know they got a place here for me, you know, from me. They can talk anytime, 24/7 about anything. So I'm gonna just be real like that. That's just the real as I can be. The mistakes that I made, it's not about making up for. It's about doing what's right now for them and for us to move and maintain that relationship.
What are some areas that, y'all could just throw some things out there? What are some areas that you may feel that men um, may stray away from their children because of the mother?
Well,
Dumbness.
What are something?
no, not even done. The K said it best. Like, yo, check this out. If you break up with the woman and it's her fault, or let's just say it's her fault, and it causes mad feelings in you, and you don't want to go around her or be around her, and the kids are around, yo, you're entitled to do that. You're entitled to not want to put any type of toxic nothing in your circumference. Like me, I'm just gonna put it on me real quick, real personalized. Like, ever since my daughter's mother did what she did to me, yo, I don't want to see her. I don't want to talk to her. I don't take her phone call. I don't do none of that. If something happens, let's just say something happens within there, and would I go to the funeral? If something happens or if somebody's at the hospital, would I go do that? Probably not, because I don't want to see her. I don't want to be around her. And when we get our minds up that we don't want to be around the woman, if the kid is going to be around, that's what men do. I mean, is it right? I don't know. That's a personal call, because it's right. It feels right for me, because I don't want no drama. I don't want no headaches. I don't want to. I don't want anything.
So
And
to keep the peace
my kids
separated.
won't suffer. Yeah, I keep it separated. My kids are grown as well. I don't have to talk to their mother. I don't have to talk to her for nothing. Nothing at all.
Well, see, the hard
So
part.
how do you, at that particular point, like how do you pick up with your children? Like I do understand that you don't want to ignite the friction, the fire between you and the other parent, but your child is in the middle. Like, is there a period that you'll wait to develop a relationship with them, or is it okay if they just go through life without you and they're
Well,
adults now? So then it's like, do you reach out to them at that point, or do you feel that they should reach out to you first? Like, what happens with that part?
well,
Where's the writing coming at?
my daughter, my daughter. I talk to my daughter every day, every single day. We video chatting and we laughing and we talking. My son, I
But
speak to him.
how did you
Me
get
and my
to that
daughter,
point?
me and my daughter always been to that point. It was we've never been separated. Me and my daughter never been separated mentally. I mean, we've been separated physically when they were living in Florida, but my daughter would still. I bought my daughter a cell phone when she was 6 years old, probably she was calling me, right? So we've never lost connection. Never.
I'm only asking for the man that wants a relationship with their child, but
It's
they have that impossible block that
right.
is holding the relationship strained, and they don't
Mm.
know how to get in touch with you. They don't like
Yeah.
how can you get that to happen?
Hey,
Anybody?
let me
Time.
let me
Time.
interject that because I can give you the perfect example. Like again, in myself and in my situation, where at the time your kids are very young. You see what I'm saying? My seeds were babies when we divorced. So the only communication, the way that I could communicate with them was I had to make communication with their mother. And like I said, it was messy at first. So, you know, she didn't want nothing to do with me. I didn't want nothing to do with her. And it was very hard and challenging because I'm calling her when I'm calling her to speak to my kids. All that's in my mind is I ain't got time. I don't want to hear what she got to say when she pick up the phone. All I want to do is talk to the kids. Now, granted, my youngest was too young, so she really couldn't talk on the phone. But just the fact of hearing my voice, I felt was presently a blessing. My other one, she was older, and it was hard. I have to say, I must say, it had to be hard on her. It had to be hard on her because she was daddy's baby. You know what I mean? When she was born, I immediately took her everywhere I went, point blank, period. She was on my hip. You understand what I'm saying? That's how that everywhere I was, she was. And it was like that for a long time until things changed. And when things change, it changes a whole lot of ground, you know, within yourself, especially now when they go one way and you got to go another. And it's not like I can say, well, I got to be with my kids because, like I said, Uncle Sam played a strong factor for me being separated for a lot of reasons. And that became my Achilles heel or excuse to use not to have some communications when I wanted to have communication, when I could have. And but you, like I say, we learn these things as we go. So as Father said, time is a factor of healing things. But the thing about time is you have to put it in your mindset because as time is going on, your children are grown. And what you don't know what's
Right.
going on in their life, you're missing out on a lot. I missed out on a lot. I have to truly say that. I missed out on a lot with my kids that I cannot and never can get back. But from the times that I was able to be significant and stronghold in their lives, I made the best of it to the best of my ability and let them know that, hey, I'm here. And as they got older, it's not like she never made the choice to say, you don't talk to your father like that. It wasn't like that. It could have been, I guess, but it really wasn't. It was allowing them as they got older to have an understanding of what they want to do, if they want to have a relationship with their dad or not. If they're old enough to talk to the telephone or this, that, and that, then she ain't got nothing to do with it. Now that becomes upon you and your child, what you got to do to maintain it. As long as once she's able to talk or your children's able to talk and say, I want to talk to my dad, that's their right. You don't take that away from them. Nor would I take that away from them if it was reversed, where I had them and their mother would call for them. I give them that respect. Everything depends upon the situation. If the mother was not taking care of the kids and all this other stuff is on drugs and stuff, that's a whole different set. Everybody's situation is going to be different. So you have to handle it according to the best of your ability. What I would say for fathers out there that want to be a part of their seed's life and they're in a relationship where they can't stand the mother of it, listen, you couldn't stand it. You stood it enough to lay down and have seeds with her. You have to be now more of the man to say, listen, it ain't about you and I no more. It's about the fact of what we created. It's about what the life is now that I have to be a part of. I have to be in that child's life because they need me as I need them. So the only way to do it is you break down that barrier of communication. You got to break that barrier about the communication between you and the one you have, and then let it be set in stone. And listen, all right, we ain't got to have no conversation. But when I call, I know I got to call and go through you to talk to them until they're able, or I can provide them with their own substance. Like you said, Paul, you gave them a cell phone, which is good. You see what I'm saying? But you have to establish that communication. You have to be the one to punch that. You are the adult. You are the responsible one. You are the father. You're the one that's got to still see and nurture them and take care of their needs. You understand what I'm saying? So for me, that's what it's all about. You know, I had to be the one to realize when I was at a situation at my point where I felt I was at the lowest of the low mentally, and it was affecting physically, that I had to go back and seek myself and get back to proper understanding. Now I'm good. I'm good. So take the time out, reevaluate your self thoughts, go to your place, find yourself spiritually, whatever it takes for you to relive you and say, now, I got to have that bond, because there's nothing like a bond between your child. Love for each individual is different. My love for my children has nothing to do with the love for their mother or my wife. My love is for my children. That's that. When it comes to my kids, I love my kids. I respect and love their mother. She was the mother that reared them. I give her top notch 100% all day, every day. I tell her that all the time. I'm very happy that things turned out the way they did, and she groomed them truly tremendous, and I'm proud. I'm proud of that, and I am still a part of that. I just wasn't a full activated part, but I played my part to the position that I could for when I could, with the mistakes. And all I can do, like I say, for ask for forgiveness and love, and we continue to grow as a family, no matter what. And that's where we are, and we're good. Like I said, I love my kids love me. We're good. You have to be the one to
So
break that down.
this is true. So an example of that is King Herman. King Herman, you are really going through a really rough patch to keep that relationship bond strong with your daughter. And then also you have a young daughter. So I definitely commend you with your fight, because just as King KY said, and Father Y said, you have to make that decision to say, I want to be a part of my child's life. I want my child to feel that I love them because I helped create you. But with your daughter, your situation is really tough, because this every time you do not do quote unquote as she says, she denies you visitation to be with your daughter. So I just like how you expressed earlier, you have hurt feelings for that, because you want a relationship with your daughter, and sometimes your feelings get cloudy, and sometimes you may feel defeated in your process of fighting. But what keeps you going to say, I'm gonna fight for my daughter?
Um, well, I sort of went through this with my oldest as well, because up until age 10, she was in New York with me up the block. And then, my son who has cerebral palsy, same mother, that's her brother. So they went from up the block from me to move down to Atlanta 16 hours away. And, it's like before they moved, I had a conversation with her because she had me on child support. I was in and out the hospital with my foot. And I was just like, yo, you sure? I was like, yo, if you move down there and I can't get down there like I could normally do, you okay with this? She said, yeah. So when the doctor was like, I couldn't put no weight on my foot. So my son is in a wheelchair. So I can't pick him up and, carry him physically up the stairs without, damaging the foot. And so for a minute, I didn't see him. And it's just, you sit back sometimes and you want to fight and you want to yell, but at the end of the day, like Kay said, you got to take responsibility. I laid down with her. I have my son, and one thing that you will not take away from me is like, yo, I know I'm a good father, and sometimes the man has to realize that and say that to himself sometimes, because the situation is not going to always look like that, and but then when I was able to get him, and then when I went down for my daughter's graduation and surprised her, you know, um, they get to see that. And so then me and my daughter, we fell out for a minute. So when everything happened with my ex-wife, it was like going from you get arrested and then you get a phone call that you're a grandfather now, and I'm just like, ooh. And it's like, I wanted to lash out, yell at the mom, how could you let this happen? Boom, 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 boom. But I'm just like, wait a minute, hold up. I was the man, I'm not the man of that house. So there's certain things that I can do, I have control over, and there's certain things I don't. So all I did now was I can't go back to the past because there was a bridge where we were fighting. My oldest daughter told me, she said I choked her. And I was like, whoa, 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 whoa. If I choked you, you would know, and I'd be in jail right now because you wouldn't be breathing. But that's not me. I'ma love you. So despite all that, and then the funny story was it was not really funny, but so one Father's Day, she didn't call me for Father's Day. And I think in the middle of that week, the stepfather died. And I'm the first one that she picks up the phone and calls. And I'm like this on the phone when she's telling me, I want to say, well, oh, he died? That's what you give for trying to replace your father. But I couldn't do that.
I would never do.
I was just like, okay, you all right? This and that. And it started that communication, but then it was limited because, she's down there, he died in the house, so she was mourning that. And so, it is constantly building. And even now, when, she has a child, I'm just like, okay, well, this is what you're going to do. Because now she's going through it with the kid's father to where he doesn't know if he wants to be a dad or he wants to be her boyfriend. And so if he can't have her, he's like, I'm not coming to get the baby. So now that's a whole nother dynamic that, I got to deal with without her losing her mind, because to raise a child by herself is different. And I'm far away. I'm not close. And then now we got COVID. So it's like, whoo, double whammy. But she was able to come up here. I took care of her. I was laughing when the baby started crying early in the morning. I was just like this, you the mother, I'm going to sleep. I got work tomorrow. But it's just getting to a place of saying, yo, I'm the father, I'm gonna do whatever it takes. And even with my young one, when she was doing all this, and when I finally got my time back with her after fighting, and just like, oh well, now I get to go to the house and pick up. I get to go to the house and drop it back off. And I'm just like, well, if she's gonna do this, I'm gonna make sure my daughter knows I love her. So every time that I got her, we going everywhere. Like Father Wise said, she's on my hip. I took her to the gym where I'm coaching basketball. She's grabbing a basketball. She ran up to the hoop. She looked at it. And, I'm just like this. Yes. So, you look for the bond. And then, when I bring her back to the mother, I just make sure that I discuss the daughter. I don't say nothing else, how I'm feeling, who you got around. Just, I'm coming to get at this time. What time would you like her back? If she's sick, what's happening? Let's go. So it's a lot of growth, and I know that somebody's gonna be in my situation. So I'm happy that I'm going through it. But at the time in the beginning, I was, mm-mm, But like I said, talking on here, being with you guys, like that really helped me grow when I was able just to release. So I think a lot of times, a lot of men, they don't have that OG to talk to, that's been there, that can tell them, all right, young fella, this is what you need to do, grasshopper, you know, and keep checking in with me, and I think that's what a lot of our young men and young ladies are missing. And especially when the father goes left and the mother goes left, then there's no balance, with the kid. If you think about it, if you grew up in a household where you had your mother and father, okay, there was days where, I go hang out with mom, then when mom get my nerves, I'm going with dad. But these kids are now in one isolated household. So they don't have those two, or it's not that easy for them to get to, or mom and dad got beef. it's a whole nother dynamic, and they have to kind of, become a strategist. Like, I can say certain things to mom, I can't say certain things to dad. And they got to pick and choose. And sometimes they can handle that, sometimes they can't. And that drives them crazy. So they start to do stuff while out. And then when it comes down to it, we ask why they while out. That's when sometimes the parents get hit with a dose of reality. This is our fault. And we got to accept that.
The real reality is everyone, again, because y'all perfectly explained it through your trials. The real reality is we all go through storms. You either going in a storm, you're in a storm, or you're coming out of storm. It's what you take time to sit and be mature about your response. How will you handle your storm? Because storms are only temporary, right? Storms are temporary. You just have to wait out that storm. And at the end of the storm is how will you fight? You have something to fight for. This is a child. A child you help create. And you created it with a person at one time you had feelings for, deep feelings, love feelings. And even if it's a one night stand, even if you still created something, someone, I'm sorry, not something, but someone, a precious someone to fight for. You may not know in the beginning, depending on how the situation was set up. However, but over time, you do come to this point of, you're my father. And you, as a father, say, this is my child. And a mother also has to take accountability. If the relationship is not working, let it go. But don't sacrifice your child to use a child as an it because you have anger against the father. You are hurting your child. There's people that don't know who their father is. Again, the choice the mother makes from how KY said, from bad decisions and bad choices. We have to stand up and be accountable of the choices that we make. However, we have to right our wrongs. Don't sit and go to the grave with a wrong. At some point, you got to say, okay, well, let me swallow this pill, right? I had a baby by a married man. That was my choice. But I didn't say, well, he can't be with me, so my son can't be with his father. No. My son has been with his family from the day he was born. His family was in a hospital labor room with me from the day my son was born. So their relationship is impeccable right now. Impeccable. I can't ask for a better family that helped me raise my son. And it's all about what role are you playing? Deny a child the father because you're mad. You gotta stand in your truth to say, okay, listen, we all make bad choices. We all make bad decisions, but own it. Own it. Kids didn't get here by themselves, right? They just, you're not Jesus, and you're not Mary, and you're not Joseph. They didn't get here by themselves. Somebody laid down somewhere, opened their legs, sperm into the canal of the woman, and fertilization happened. 10 months later, because they call it 40 weeks, their baby is born. Somebody has to raise this child. So the mother may feel, okay, I can't handle this. She leave them to the grandmother, the aunts, right? Somebody, the friends. Because we go on about our business, doing whatever we feel like doing, turn it up. But who's raising your child? Even when you do that, in that process, you still got to own up to your bad decisions, your bad choices. At some place, sometime, you have to stand up and say, damn, let me get my ish together. Because before you blink too hard, too many times, your newborn is 18 years old. What role did you play from 0 months to 18 years? What role did you play? Now, how do you build and maintain off of that? Because the child is now looking at you like, what you want now? And then you feel the fight is not yours. So some men straight give up and going about their lives, and they make new lives in other places. There, just like King Herman said, there's so many dynamics to this thing here. But this situation is serious. How can we build and maintain a relationship with our children? I don't care how old they are. They still belong to us. So I commend all of you from giving your experiences. But what is something that you can suggest, a point that, that's dear to you, that you can give to the person behind you to help them get through their storm? I don't know who wants to go first.
Communication, point blank, period. Really. Be open, be honest to acknowledge yourself, like you said, acknowledge your wrongs, understand your wrongs, and plan a way of making it right. Positive education always corrects errors, and that's what's going to bring about peace and understanding.
Yeah.
But you have to first recognize your faults, and then admit to, like, okay, I have to make a change. If you want to change things, you have to first make change within self. In order for me to change the people around you, I got to change the people around me. I got to change me. I got to change me to change
That's
the
right.
people around me. Period. And you have to have that understanding, you know. And when you get it, the next person, like I said, I don't never tell nobody something that I ain't never been through or walked through myself. Because if I don't, I can't tell them. That's false wisdom. I don't live that way. If I've done something and I've done something similar to what a person asks me for, what kind of advice and stuff, I'm gonna give them just what I give them, my truth. And then what they have to do is find themselves in their truth and walk straight and do best what they feel for them and their kid. One thing is, don't never leave your kid astray, because your kid astray goes away. And when they go away, they forget you. They ain't gonna want to have nothing to do with you. It ain't because you felt like they feel like you abandoned them. So why should they call you? You know, change that cycle, especially within the black family, the human family of all of, man. We have so much going against us. We need one another. We need it. You know what I'm saying? Be the best example that you can be. Because everything around you is trying to take you away from the source. Everything is trying to break up the human family of the planet Earth. I'm not about to have that no more. I've been there, done that, got the t-shirt, cut it up, burn it up. Because now it's all about being that poor righteous teacher
Mm.
and maintain it. I'm God. I control everything in my universe. I control what goes on. I have that power. I answer to no one but me for my accountabilities. I don't answer to nobody else. The mistakes I make, they're mine. I claim them. I brainstorm through it, and I move on. I push on. I try to make positive over negative. For any negative things that I've done in my life, I try to I learn from it. Point blank, I learn from it to move on. and better me. Within I better myself, then my seeds are better. So just
Absolutely. Father Wise,
I don't know. I feel different about all this. Like really, when you saying what wrongs, like I don't see wrong. If that man decides he doesn't that he can't, I mean, I understand that children need both parents. I get that. I get that. 100% totally get that. The child has a better chance in this world with two parents than one. It's proven scientific fact, right? It's proven all those studies, case studies. It's proven. But in an existence, let's say one parent had to walk away because they couldn't, whatever happened with the other parent, and they just didn't get back in touch with their child or children for whatever reason. I mean, it could have been, I don't know. It could, let's say a guy was beating on it. Let's say a guy was beating on the woman. She left. She packed her stuff and left. Never to return, never to see the kid, never to see anything because she needed to get away. She needed to save her own life. Is that wrong? I don't think so.
no, we're not
And,
talking about that. We're not
no,
talking
no.
about that part. We're talking about the
What you're
part
saying, what
to
you're saying
give
is,
advice for somebody to help them gain and maintain a relationship with their child, no matter what the wrong was.
I'm now.
We're grown up now. We have developed now. We are on another level now. Now your child is grown. Is way past the relationship of everybody separating. That you have a child somewhere.
Yeah, okay. Well, the best thing I can do say is try to reach out. But how do you reach out if you just went on? You don't even have a number. You don't have nothing. But if you can find something, you reach out. Now that the child is grown, and you explain the situation, and hopefully that the child is. There's only two things that's going to happen. They're either going to accept it or they're going to reject it. That's what's going to happen. So if I mean reaching out to someone who wants to fix the relationship with their child, I got the question right. Reaching out. Kay said it. Reaching out. Communication. Reach out if you can. Be honest, open-minded, and willing, and to show them that whatever happened back then is not happening now, and I'm here for you. Now, either they're gonna accept it or reject it, but reach out. If they reach out to you, be willing to answer. Be willing to hear what they have to say, without catching an attitude and being upset and feeling like, oh, you chose your mom over me, or you chose your dad over me. You know, I don't know. This subject is it's informative, but it's a tricky. It's not as clean cut and dry as it should be. It's not.
it's never gonna be easy, but
Nothing with humans are dry. Nothing with humans are dry. But we can do our best to put egos and pride and ignorance aside to come to a place of peace for our children.
Not everybody can do that though.
King Herman,
Yeah. Well,
the least we can do is try. The point is to try.
yeah.
If everybody put down their pride, you just why should a child grow up by herself not knowing their parent? And it's okay. That should not be okay. You got a conscience. This is a human being that you created.
What?
This they have to be feeling some kind of way that my father abandoned me. My father doesn't care about me. You know how many people is growing up like that? And they take that same anger and put it into the relationships that they grow up with and bear their own kids. And from those decisions, those bad experiences, they take those feelings and emotions and put it into their children that it becomes generational curses. The point is just to give some type of advice to stop these generational curses. King Herman, what are your final words that you could give to somebody?
I'm gonna take this one to the movies. I'm gonna go Antoine Fisher.
Anton Fisher.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That
You
was a
know
You
great
when
movie. That was a great movie, by the
you're
way.
that's
right, and
he
when it came down to him finding out who his family was, there was always somebody that knows both sides. You know,
Mm-hmm.
and nowadays because that's what really helped me with mine. Their godparents. When I couldn't see her, my daughter, they would send me videos of my baby girl growing up, entertaining them. So I was still, able to see her, even though I physically couldn't be there. And then one day I happened to bump into them, and who's with the in the stroller? But my daughter. And so I just know that you try to find somebody that's an arbiter or a godparent or a friend that both you may know that could kind of be like, yo, cut your nonsense out. It's about the child. Your daughter's doing well. This is where she's at. Hey, this is who your father really is. And, and just continue to look for, places to meet in the middle, even if somebody has to be there, almost like a scheduled visit. And Yasa, me and you know about that with the line of work that we do sometimes. It's got to be somebody,
Absolutely.
that they got to visit in front of everybody. And that kind of, cuts the nonsense out. Moving forward, I just think that, that should be something that should be on the table because even when you did do the one night stand, there was a partner there or there was her girlfriend there to actually, both y'all know y'all only met for that night, but something beautiful came out of it and it's here. I was talking to one of my students who I know her father, but because of her mother, she's not allowed to really be with him. But that's what I'm saying. Like I'm the middle person in both sides. But if you could find that middle person to really just, continue to help mold because the model really is, and KY, as you said it, man, it still takes a village to raise a child. And we gotta get back to that.
Absolutely.
We got to.
Absolutely. Thank you, gentlemen, so much. Our hour has come to a close. It was very enlightening. And again, I'm so happy and appreciative that you share your stories that you can share with others in your opinions. It means a lot so many people out there are going through type of life dynamic that is affecting them to a place where they may not can function on a normal level. Mental health is everything, everything. And knowing your foundation is extremely important because it helps you give you a place to start. And I always appreciate you. Yes, I do. To come in um, every week as you do and deliver your experience. So I thank you, gentlemen, so much. And I'm going to close everybody out. Thank you, everyone, for coming in the charge room. Again, today is Thursday, the day that the platform is open for men to give their voice. Which is my king hashtag locker room. My name is Eliasa Simpson, aka Minister Charge, aka Coach, and I am here as the CEO of the Charge Room, a mission and a ministry that I began in 2019 to help hear the voices and the cries of people, to help men hearts so we can have strategic interventions to help everyone come to a place to find peace, right? So as we spoke of this topic of bridging the gap between children and their fathers. As women, we have a responsibility, just like men have a responsibility. But I'm going to say more so the women, because women, we made choices. We do not always make good choices. We do not always make good decisions. However, we have to live with them. But don't live in a place where you're stuck with guilt because of a bad decision. Again, everyone goes through a storm, but storms are temporary. Get up, because the storm will be over. Get prepared, because the storm will end. And as the storm ends, and as you prepared for the storm to come to a close, you have to stand and posture yourself to make your next move. Make your next move to always be a positive one, a growing one, a developing one. Because as you grow and develop, you can have a better mindset to make a better decision next time. You can clear yourself. And again, it has to do with forgiveness too. Forgive yourself. Give yourself permission to heal from your bad choice, from your bad decision, from the storm. Again, it's temporary. It does not last forever. And it's you and you making your choices and knowing that you have the power to break any stronghold that you feel is holding you down. It's only in your thoughts, your narrative, right? So what? Y'all broke up. So what? Y'all are not together and they moved on and with someone else. So what? You still have a child, and that child still needs a relationship with their father, because that's their foundation. Help them keep their foundation balanced so they can grow up and be amazing to their children. Again, we all have a responsibility. Make that better choice next time and forgive yourself of the poor choice that you made last time. You can get better, do better, be better, and teach someone else how to get over their get through. Because guess what? You can get over yours too. So thank you so much. Allow that father in. I don't care if it's 40, 50 years later. It's not a good feeling. Just like Herman said, this thing hurts. It is not a good feeling to grow up and keep going in life, not knowing who your father is, having a poor or strained relationship with your father or your mother, because it goes both ways. There's a lot of male dads. So either way, however it goes, a child needs both parents. If you know or have answers and can help a relationship rebuild and maintain, please share it. Share your secret. Don't die, take your secrets to the grave, because someone's life can be restored just by you revealing your secret. So once again, my name is Ilyasa Simpson. Thank you so much for coming in tonight. Always please like us on Facebook. Follow us on Instagram and subscribe to us on YouTube, all avenues of Bedroom. We also have a website, www.thechargeroom.com. Come on the site, take a look around. There's also the QR code sitting in the corner. I hope you at this time put your camera on it and it opened up to the website. Make an appointment with me. Let's have a chat. Maybe there's something I can help you with or place you in the direction you need to go. Also on Sunday, I am an iHeartRadio talk show host. I have a slot every Sunday at 12:30 p.m. to 1 p.m. and I talk about all topics of being us humans, right? So we talk about real relationships, real topics of real people. So come, never miss us, always around. See you next week on Where's My King? # the men's locker room. Bye for now. Have a great weekend.